Hi, I'm Paul Salmon, I'm a psychic medium, and my guest today is Jo Barnard. Hi Jo.
Hello Paul.
And we met a couple of years ago.
We certainly did, we did this show, didn't we?
Right here, but we're going to bring everyone up to date about your work.
That'd be nice, yeah.
But I want to know, there's quite a few facets to your life, your work. So how do you describe yourself?
Yeah, really I think I would describe myself ultimately as a spiritual truth seeker and a spiritual communicator of that truth. And I think underneath that umbrella come all the various facets such as writer, teacher, therapist, all of those bits.
Holistic practitioner?
Holistic practitioner.
Right. Okay,
yeah.
But I want to begin with Jo Barnard as author, because you have written, and not only that, but it's published in a lovely book, To the Devil's Tune.
I have, yeah.
Now, I'm just going to sit back and let you tell me the details of...
Okay.
Don't give all the game away.
No, I couldn't.
What is it based on?
It's basically it's my first piece of spiritual fiction. It's based on, really it was inspired by a lady that I used to visit, Olive. She was my mum's next door neighbour, and I used to call in and see her. There was probably about 50 years age gap between us. I was in my 30s, she was in her 80s. And I used to call in, have a coffee, and we got each other on a spiritual level, and those times were really precious to both of us. And she had so much wisdom to share, and she was married to an alcoholic, and she'd found, you know, her sanity through a 12-step program, and this fascinated me as that was her way of being and coping. And she said to me one day, I only wish I'd written a book, I've got so many stories to tell. And I kind of came away and I thought, do you know what, I can do that. I can make her the character in a book. And I had this idea which I put to her, and she was up for that, and that was great. And some other friends shared their stories with me, so they became the other fictional characters. And then out of the blue, I lost my dad very suddenly, my brother was very ill, and that kind of, the creativity just took a back burner. And then last year I moved house and Olive passed away, and I just felt that I was in the right place, both physically and, you know, spiritually, to write this book.
It's
really.
that time to get it done.
Yeah, for her. And there's a competition that is run every year. It's called Nanowrimo. It's National Novel Writing Month. And the challenge is to write a 50,000 word novel in the space of 30 days of November. And I knew about this, and I'd registered a few years beforehand, but it had never seemed like the right time. And all of a sudden I thought, yeah, now's the time, I'm going to do this. And, you know, fortunately my family were very supportive, because I said I'm going underground for a month.
Or shut yourself away somewhere.
And actually it wasn't as bad as it sounds, and I think because I already had the kind of skeleton of the plot in my mind, it came together quite easily. Yeah.
So what is the skeleton?
Yeah, well, ultimately it's about a young woman's journey from a very dark place where everything seems to be going wrong in her life, and she resorts to self-harm, and this darkness, you know, she can't see her way out, and a series of synchronicities and chance meetings lead her to her sanity and to light. So it's very much darkness to light. Now the name To the Devil's Tune is very much about the devil card in the tarot.
Oh yes.
The devil represents fear, you know, it's not real, it's our fear and addictions, and we often feel chained to those addictions, and that we can't break free, or we're frightened to break free. But actually we can break free, we just need to find our way. So she finds a way to stop dancing to the devil's tune and break free.
I wonder what Olive would think about it, you know. Sitting here, I thought, well, because now she's passed on.
Yeah.
Obviously she does know what it's about now, doesn't she?
Yeah. I very much felt her with me as I was writing it.
I was going to ask you that. Did you feel her standing there with you?
Not necessarily standing with me, but I just felt her around, I felt her energy, and every single day I saw, because I'm sitting right by a big window, and I saw a crow fly over my head, and to me that was her. It was.
And did you feel inspired sometimes when you're writing, that you're on automatic pilot sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. And oddly enough, it was the days when I thought, I don't know what I'm going to write today. And I was thinking, come on, my bum's on the seat, I'm committed, come on, help me out here. And they were the days where it just, all of a sudden, it came in and flowed and,
But you had a bit of good publicity about your book as well, didn't you? In that magazine?
Yeah, in Soul and Spirit magazine, yes.
Didn't they use it as a competition prize?
They did. They put it on their... So they did a review in the magazine, and there they have a bookshelf page where they recommend different books, and I didn't know whether I would get into that, and they couldn't promise that, and I didn't know what they would say. But actually it was a lovely review, and they also posted a competition on their blog.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So has that given you a taste of writing more books?
It has given me a taste. It's been really good grounding, because I've written both on the non-fiction self-help side, and actually the fiction is very much fictional self-help, really. It follows the same sort of theme. But I now feel, because I've gone the self-publishing route and the being published route, I feel like I've got quite a good, a bit more grounding as to how the process works, and I guess it doesn't frighten me in the way that it
must be
did.
A big learning curve, mustn't it, for you?
It is, and I don't think you ever reach a point where you think, do you know what, I think this book's perfect, or I couldn't have done this process better, but you have to just let it go and move on to the next project, and I am very happy with that, very happy.
Who designed the cover for this book? I mean, is that your idea?
It was my idea. It was... first of all, before I knew I was being published by Roundfire Books, who are part of John Hunt Publishing, I had the company that designed my website for me, they did a cover based on
So you were allowed your freedom to come up with an idea?
Yeah, but in actual fact I couldn't use that, so we had to compromise, but it was, the theme was my idea.
Okay. What about, I'm just thinking about ideas, how to get you out there now, but I shouldn't. I've got this interview to concentrate on.
You have.
I was just thinking about you going on.
Publicity.
I've got ideas like marketing and going on tour. But let's talk about the mainstay of your work. I want to call you a holistic practitioner. For some reason.
You can call me that.
But you have your website, and it's. Tell us what you call yourself, the well-being.
Well, the company is U-Time, and it is all about people making time for themselves. And I guess I have all these different tools, as in, it doesn't really matter whether you come for massage or for a reading or for Reiki, or ultimately for me it is about what is your truth. And this is coming up more and more, because people come to me with depression, or they don't know what's wrong and they can't move forward. And I think, you can go to the doctor with that and they will automatically, yes, it's depression, take these tablets, off you go, and you're labelled as someone who suffers with depression, and this will keep cropping up. And really that is putting a plaster over, what is actually, I believe, to be more of a spiritual disease. And I really feel that we need to understand our soul purposes and start working towards our highest potential as earthly beings. And without that knowledge and sight and clarity, I do feel that is a big part of this kind of black cloud.
I like that U-Time, because I think we mentioned before when you came here, we seem to give good advice to everyone else, and I do it myself when I work in my line of work, but we don't give time to ourselves, do we? And we're rushed off our feet. And I say to people, well, what do you say to others in your situation? But take it on board yourself. But I suppose even your massage can help through the body as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And Reiki, you're a Reiki master, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I love teaching Reiki and sharing that, the knowledge of the system of Reiki, which, again, to me, it is about getting back to our truth, that at the root of it all, at the core of all of us, we are actually loving, beings of light.
Yeah. So someone comes to, do people come to you for an initial, what's called the word?
Consultation.
Thanks for doing my job for me. Yeah, if they're down in the mouth, see your website, think, I'll go along and have a chat. Then is that how it works? Then you think, well, you need this, you need that course of action.
Yeah, it really varies from one person to the next. I mean, quite a lot of my work is through word of mouth and recommendation, where people have, that someone else has benefited and therefore they've recommended. It really depends. If someone has a physical, I don't know, they might have back problems, so we might start by looking at the back. But then we begin to look deeper. Well, what is this really about? It's not just about the back. Let's go deeper.
And some people just like to chat, I suppose, and it's a form of psychology, therapy.
Yeah, I think sometimes the talking part is more therapeutic than the physical.
Can you just tell us a bit about what Reiki is? Because people might think, well, what's Reiki is against spiritual healing?
Yeah, it's Reiki really means spiritual energy, a universal energy, and obviously we all have energy flowing through us. We're all made of energy. We're all energetic beings, and everything is made of energy. And when we're born, or when we're feeling really connected to life and feeling great, our energy flows through us as it should, without blockages. And as we go through life, we start to pick up, these fears or negative issues, which begin to block that flow, and that could affect you very differently than me. So, for example, you might not be able to sleep. I might have problems with my back. It varies between every individual. And really the process of Reiki, it is about an intention to allow that healing process to happen. And it can be hands-on or it can be hands-off, because the intention is the most important thing. But it's interesting because I had 3 ladies a couple of weeks ago did their Reiki 1 course, and
so you're teaching it?
Yeah, I'm teaching it, and 2 of the 3 ladies said, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I don't think I'm going to be able to sense energy. And I said, you can, you really can. And by the end of that day, they were just, wow, I never thought I could feel this energy. So it's opening up to, sensing the flow and the blockages and what that might mean.
I'm just wondering, because I'm a medium and I open up that way, I just wondered if you could help me. I'm not propositioning you with the concept, I'm just wondering, mind to mind, if you could, and you mustn't give your Reiki mastership away or whatever, but if there's some form there where you can help others open up with the Reiki, if you have the energy to open me up to more awareness for my work.
Well, that's what Reiki is all about, but it's not about me being a master and doing that for you. It's about a mutual opening up of energetic centres and taking you back to your truth, which is love and light. Do
you realise what a bit of truth I found out for myself? I know it's your show, and don't talk about it, but you might find this yourself.
Yeah.
Do you find that a lot of people don't like to say no?
Yes.
They find it hard to say no.
Definitely.
And in my mature years,
yes,
it's only recently I've begun saying no. And do you know what, Jo? I feel marvellous.
Yeah, because it is about the truth.
Yeah.
And we like to please people. We like people to like us as human beings. But if something's not in alignment with our truth, it can only harm every party by behaving in that way.
And also the people you say no to, they don't mind too much anyway.
No.
But the effort of saying no to people I find so difficult.
Yes, yeah.
And not just me, but so many people, if they just said no to people and stuff.
Because you don't have to say it in a nasty way.
Well,
it can be, you know, very loving and with the best of intentions.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So Reiki master, author. Let's mention, I know you mentioned it before, but I want to bring it up again.
Yes.
Because to let people know how another book you've written, Meditation Made Simple. And it can be simple, can't it?
It can, yeah.
Really?
Ultimately, meditation is about either focusing the mind on something specific, which allows us to be in the moment, because we need to give the mind a job to do, because it wants to be busy all the time. But recognising the mind as a tool, you know, that we can put down and in order to be ourselves and realise our truth. And another method is the mindfulness approach, where we can actually watch the mind, see what it's doing, and kind of watch it from arm's length.
Yeah.
So it is, in essence, very simple.
I think people get wrapped up in this, well, I can't meditate. But
well, that's the mind telling them.
Yeah,
because,
that they can't.
It's only the mind, and it is about disempowering the mind for that time.
But I like the way you've broken it down into different sections and taken us on a journey of meditation.
Yeah.
A very good book, highly recommended by me, for what I'm worth. Yes, but you do workshops. Tell us about the workshops you do, Jo.
Yeah, well, meditation groups, I mean, I've been running those for about 6 years now on a regular basis, and that went from a monthly meet, and that became very popular, and so I went to twice a month. And then probably about 6 months ago, I had this inkling that something wasn't quite right, that something needed to change, and I kind of sat and, I don't know, I was just feeling that I couldn't please everyone in the group. I couldn't give everyone what they needed at that time. And I kind of surrendered to that, sat, meditated on it, and I thought, actually, there are two audiences here. One audience wants to retreat for a couple of hours to a safe space where they can just be in the moment and be peaceful and, you know, gently guided along a process. And then there was another group of people who wanted to dig deeper, who wanted to know, what does this mean? Why is this coming up for me? I'm seeing this, what's this? And so I decided to go back to the monthly meditation group and start a soul development circle, which has been running we've just had our second session. So that's a closed spiritual group, which is about people really seeking their truth again. So I have those two groups, and then workshops. Again, I kind of work, if there's a demand, I put on a workshop, and it might be a spiritual day, it might be a Reiki workshop, it could be various things. But I've also been invited to conduct some workshops and courses out in Spain.
Have you?
Yeah, next year and the year after. And that will be at an animal sanctuary in Spain called Jacob's Ridge.
Yeah.
And that is going to be amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Actually through social media. It was a lady that I'd met initially through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then Facebook, and we connected, and she writes a magazine, produces a magazine, so I've written a few pieces for her. And her and her family have moved out there from Essex and rescue horses, donkeys, pigs. They've got Pig Village, and it's all about
Pig Village. I like
that, isn't it?
Is it called Pig Village?
Yeah,
is it?
Well, it's called Pig Village, which is just fab. And yeah, so it's their whole life now is about supporting and caring for these animals. And they're starting to put on various workshops. So they've linked up with a local hotel. And so it's going to be great fun, because we can incorporate the animals into the meditations and the Reiki. You know, so I'm running Reiki 1 and 2 courses out there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, next year.
Sounds
so
interesting.
I can't wait. I think it's going to be fabulous.
Yeah. How did all this begin for you, Jo, the whole holistic approach in your life?
Yeah, it was years ago now. I think the holistic approach I've always been interested in, but that wasn't my career, and I never thought it would be. And I was in marketing for 15 years, but very much on the communication side, which I still am. So it was all really about people and communicating messages, but I experienced Reiki, and that was the beginning of it for me. And it was like a light switched on, and that was it. Never looked back, and it's still absolutely at the core. I don't think there's anything quite like it.
No.
Yeah.
I've not. Well, I have sampled it. I've had a touch of your massage, and I remember that stone you dug in my. And what was that stone again? It had some history to it.
Yeah, it was a crystal. It was a healing.
Oh, it was a crystal, was it?
Yeah, creeling crystal, a healing crystal. But yeah, you had a particularly bad spot in your back.
Yeah, I can recommend this.
Yes.
I know it's in your shop. Oh, that's lovely.
But I'm not into this namby-pamby, you know.
I know you're not.
No, if you've got a problem,
you did give me any
out.
namby-pamby. But mind, I'm not into that myself.
No.
But it really felt, it really got in there.
Yeah.
And you have your studio at home.
Yes, I've actually moved
you have
house
since I've known you.
Yeah. Moved house last year, so I've got a new clinic which also now has some spa facilities in it.
Oh, has it?
I've got a sauna and a hot tub and a shower facility, so people can incorporate that as well into their relaxation.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And your website address is?
It is you, as in YOU, -time.com.
And it's all about, so if you want to know about any more about Jo's work or her studio, look it up or contact me at Eternal Spirit. Yeah. Jo, how do you relax yourself? What hobbies and interests have you got?
Yeah, well, I think...
Well, have you got time?
I do make time. I'm very... I have to be quite disciplined in how I split my time, and that is how I remain well and sane, really. Meditation is a big part of my life, whether I'm actually working or not, it's part of who I am. And by working with energy, healing energy, you're also healing yourself too. Yeah. I love writing, I love listening to inspirational speakers and a bit of yoga. I just sort of make time for all of that, really. Yeah.
I was going to say you're a prolific writer though, because you keep a blog, the website, and you do magazine articles. Yeah. And I don't know how you do find the time. And you have children to look after, a family.
I do have a family, yeah.
And
football family, crazy family. Yeah.
Jo, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting me back.
You're an all-round. See, I keep.
What do you want to call me?
I've got a few names I could call you. No, holistic, an all-rounder.
Yeah.
And you're very good at what you do as well.
Thank you, Paul. Bless you.
And thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So thanks to Jo for coming in, and see you again next time.